Hi, my name is Emily, and this is Tensegrity Flow Yoga Level 2. So, thank you so much for coming to class today. And our focus for this class is going to be strengthening in the lower body. So, we're going to do some asanas which strengthen and tone our legs, as well as extension and opening in our shoulders. So, our goal being coming into the summer months that we all want to feel comfortable in our shorts and swimsuits. So, we'll tone the legs for that and also take care of our upper body as we're spending time outdoors, weed eating, lawn mowing, gardening, and such. So it's important that we take care of our shoulders and our spine. So we're spending a lot of time rounded forward during those actions. So in this practice, we'll spend some time extending the spine and working in the opposite range of motion so that we create a balance for our body. So we'll begin by coming into a seat. Any old seat will do. We're just going to establish our breath, establish a tempo for our movements to come. So closing your eyes, breathing out to begin. Drawing the navel in and up so you press every molecule of air from your lungs. And on your inhale, feel your belly expanding. And lift the breath up through your rib cage, up under your collarbones. So you feel your spine extend with your breath. And breathing out, drawing the belly into an engaged position as we squeeze the air out. So each round of breath, feel yourself begin to slow down. Feel your mind begin to slow. And then let's start to move in time with our breath. So we're going to start with some big shoulder rolls. We're going to take the arms, just circle them up and then onto the back body. So arms can go forward, up to the sky, and around, back and down. Almost like you're doing a double backstroke. So just do a few of those at your own pace. You don't have to strain your shoulders too much to do this. It's also interesting to observe any difference in the way your right and shoulders move. So my left shoulder always feels a little bit more stuck than my right shoulder. All right, and let's let our arms stay wide now. Breathe in, extend out through both of your arms. And on your exhale, we're just going to cross the arms to the mid-plane and give a hug. So notice which elbow is on top. Inhale, we'll open those arms nice and wide, extend out through the fingers, and then exhale, bringing the other elbow on top, giving a hug. And a few more of these. Inhale, we'll open, and then exhale, we'll hug. Now it's important that you're moving perfectly timed with your breath. So as long as it takes you to breathe in is as long as it takes for your arms to open. As long as it takes you to breathe out is as long as it takes for your arms to wrap all the way around to your back. Two more. Inhale, open. Really reaching out through the length there. Exhale, wrap. And then this is our last one. Inhale, we open. And then exhale to wrap. Good. Let's bring our right hand down to the floor. So just plant it. Inhale the left arm up and over to the side as you widen out through the left side of your body. Try to root down deeper into your right arm. So the more we press down into the right arm, the more space we'll create in the whole of the ribs, but especially in the left side body ribs. Inhale, come up over to the other side. So ground the left hand, right arm will reach up and over. Plant into your left hand. Try to create extra expansion into the ribs, especially the right ribs from the grounding of the hand. It's interesting to play around here too. Like you can just barely put your hand on the floor and extend and notice the sensation there. And then really ground your hand down in order to expand into the side body and notice how that feels. And we want to create that sense of grounding or pressing down in order to rise up in all of our postures. Inhale, let's come up. Let's twist to the right. So it's always nice to start with spinal extensions and spinal twistings. Inhale, center, and then exhale, twist to the other side. And then inhale, come back into center and move into a table position. So as we come into our table, we'll bring our hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, and bring your hands forward just maybe a half an inch, and the same with your knees. So encouraging the spine to be super long here as we extend over the shoulders and knees, or the hands and the knees. And then begin to move through your cat-cows. So exhales, move to cat. Inhales, move to cow. And again, perfectly timed with your breath. So moving with that breathing. So as you press into the full exhale, you should be all the way up into your cat. And as you go into your inhale, when the breath is completely in, at the top of the inhale, then the belly should be toward the floor. All right, now let's move the left knee in like one knee print. So just slide it more to the midline and hug the right knee in. So you're still doing your cat action with the spine. And then as we inhale, we'll extend the leg back. Now imagine here that you have a weight on your right ankle, and move with resistance of that weight. Maybe even imagine that you're in water, so you're weighted in water. So getting stronger through this leg. All right, let's do one more. So exhale, we'll come in, hug. And then as we inhale, we're going to come up, but keep your knee bent. Keeping the knee bent so the heel lifts straight up toward the sky, 90-degree angle at the knee. Let's do a few little pulses here. So pulsing up, and let this concentrate into the right glutes area, maybe into the hamstring area. Try not to sag in your shoulders. Don't rely too much on your arms to hold you here. So stay steady in your core, using the core to hold. And then let's do two more little pulses, pulsing up, up. One more for good measure. And then we're going to stretch this leg. So let's swing the right leg all the way through and give the hip flexors, extenders, an opening here. So you can keep your hands down on the floor if you'd like, or build up onto the knee. Really, more than anything, we're just trying to stretch the hip, which we've just worked. Apply your deep breathing. Feel, even when you're in a posture where you're holding still, feel all of the movement that's occurring on the inside. Unity of all of the body's movements with the breath, even when there's no dynamic movement. And then we'll release. Let's bring the hand down. We're going to stretch the front leg. So tuck your back toes under. You can walk your hands back. If this bothers your knee, or you have any like stuck feeling in the body, then just use blocks. So placing blocks under your hands will very much create more stability for your legs when you're holding here in toe stretch. Keeping a slight bend in the front knee so we don't have to hyperextend the front knee at all. We want to stay long in the spine. Remember, we're spending so much time these days rounded. Then on our yoga practice, we don't want to round. We want to do the opposite of how we're spending time during the day. So yoga should be for balancing the lifestyle. All right, let's release, push into your blocks to come out of this posture. Again, especially if that bothers your knees, using the blocks for stability. And then let's press the back knee up and step back into your down dog. And as you lift your hips to the sky into dog pose, then pedal the feet. Again, in time with your breath. So it should be slow and deliberate movements. And you can even pick the foot completely up off the floor if you like. So once you bend the right knee, the foot can come all the way up. So if the foot comes up, draw the sit bone back and wide. So it just doesn't lift, but it lifts with a purpose. So the sit bone can come back and wide. And now let's take both heels in the direction of the floor and the sit bones in the direction of the sky. So always remember focusing on two directions, at least two trajectories. Well, this one is going down through the heels and up through the sitting bones. All right, let's come up to 10 toes in slow motion, as slow as we can. We'll come back onto our knees. And let's start again into our cat and cow. Exhale, cat. Inhaling into cow. And remember, try to keep the shoulders over the hands and keep the hands and the knees a far distance apart. So if the hands and the knees are too close together, then that will shorten your spine instead of elongating the spine. All right, we're going to step the right knee in one knee print, drawing it more to the midline, hugging the left knee in into cat, and then inhale, extend. So imagine again, you're in a pool of water with a weight on your ankle. So move with resistance. Flexing the heel as the leg goes back, extending the spine. Exhale, cat, strong belly. Inhale, extend. All right, one more of these. Exhale, in. Inhale, now keeping the knee bent. Let's bring the knee into a 90-degree angle. And then the heels to the sky in little pulses, just pulsing up, up. And each time you pulse, breathe out your mouth. And you can notice when you do that, it powers the body, but it also really helps to connect a source of energization. So the body gets stronger and feels more able to move through you connecting your breath in a powerful way to your movements. Let's do 3 more. And then we're going to swing that leg all the way through into low lunge. Allow your hips to melt. Maybe go ahead and bring your hands onto blocks. Even if you don't need blocks, perhaps you play around with how using the blocks and the force of the floor being closer to you helps to create a different sensation. So for example, I definitely don't need to use blocks here, but when I place my hands and ground them, I can get all kinds of extra opening in the front of my hips, which isn't available to me if I don't use the blocks. So begin to play around with the blocks and your props. Maybe we'll take the arms up or something else just for the last couple of breaths for some variety. And then we're going to go back into our toe stretch. So we'll bring the hands down. I'm going to walk my hands back with the blocks, tucking the back toes under. Slight bend in the front knee, grounding the heel and isometrically dragging the left hip back and wide. So the sitting bones are going wide. And drawing the chest forward. Mindful that the spine isn't posteriorly tipping with a rounded low back. So we want an anterior tip, a forward tip with an extended low back. Breathe. And then coming forward, I'm going to use the weight of my blocks to help me get out of this posture so it's easier on the knees. And then come forward. Ground into your hands, lift into a high lunge, and then step back into your downward facing dog. Let's ground our fingertips, the knuckle pads, the palm of the hand is lifted, just like the arches of your feet are lifted. And then we'll pedal our feet again. So we're lowering the heel, in time with the breath, and maybe even we start to lift the opposite foot. So it's going to get you a little more deeply there into the straight leg, as well as start to open the front hip or the bent knee hip even more. And then picking the right leg up to the sky. The left foot in one footprint, so it's more to the midline, extending the right leg up, 3-point dog, and then slow motion. between your hands, coming into a high lunge. And once we find high lunge, inhale, we'll take the arms all the way up into a full high lunge. And then now using our core strength, and if you have a wall or maybe even a chair handy, you can also use those for stability. We're going to stand up in one movement, standing into a standing posture, hugging the knee. And then slowly we're going to take the leg, reach it back. So leading, guiding with the big toe. Inhale, the arms reach up, high lunge. And then exhale again, coming into that standing posture. Lifting up through the crown of the head, strong legs, strong back. One more time. So as the chest leans forward, the back leg will reach back, leading with the toe. Again, use the wall, or if you wobble, you can place your hands on the blocks. Inhale, lift. And then exhale, we're going to open into warrior two. So the blade of the back foot makes its way to the ground as we extend our arms out. And then we're going to open into an exalted warrior. So we're using here our left hand pressing into the hip. So we're pushing down, in and down to give us some lift off through the chest. And then we're going to keep that nice deep bend in our knees as we extend our arms over. And then tip the chest over the legs into a triangle pose. Breathe. Extend, use the block under the bottom hand if you need to. And anywhere for triangle between the foot and the knee will do. Not on the knee, anywhere between there. And then release. So let's bring our hand down. We're going to return into that high lunge position. Go ahead and bring your hands back onto the floor. And then release, step back into downward facing dog. Let's take the right leg up 3-point. Extend the 3-point. And then exhale, release, come back into dog. Stepping the opposite foot in. So we'll bring in our right foot, one paw print, left leg to the sky. 3-pointed dog. And then exhale, step the foot forward between the hands. Find your high lunge. Strong legs, especially guiding with the ball of the back foot. So the ball of the foot is called the paw of the foot, just like a cat's paw. Inhale, we'll lift up. Strong legs. Using the upper body to help you move the lower body. So we're acting using the arms and the core, acting as stability for our legs. All right, now let's inhale, come up, hugging the back knee into the chest. Try to move slow and deliberate. And then shifting the leg back so the chest comes forward so you can lean the leg back. Guide with the big toe as you find the floor with your back foot. Inhale the arms up. And then again, exhale, we're going to come forward, keep extending, hug the knee in, and then reaching the leg back, torso comes forward, try to stretch back with your leg until you find the floor with the foot. And then last time, inhale, we'll come up, and then exhale, hug the knee in. So both legs getting stronger here, but especially that base leg. Extend. And then back into your high lunge. So once we find the foot down, we'll extend the arms. Keep breathing here and then open the arms up to warrior two. So the blade of the back foot connects to your mat. We're using the arms, reaching out to create stability for the upper body. Engage the pelvic floor, the core muscles to support your spine. And then open to exalted warrior. So the right hand is pushing in and down. So as it pushes in and down, that'll give you something to lift your chest up or away from. It also kind of helps to press your hips into the pose. The front heel can lightly hover above the floor, maybe just enough to slide a piece of paper under. Doesn't have to be big. Inhale, and then exhale. We'll bring our arms around into warrior, keeping the knee bent as the hand slides down, and then the front knee straightens and tips us into that triangle posture. I always have to manage the back foot a bit. When I go from warrior to triangle, my feet are a little wide, so I have to bring my back foot forward. You might find the same. So adjust your parts if needed between postures. Get nice and long in your neck, strong in the core. Feeling your sitting bones drawing back and wide. Breath. And then we'll release. We're going back into high lunge. So swing the arm down, framing the front foot, swinging the back leg up into three-pointed dog pose. Reach. And then exhale, return the foot down onto the floor. Down dog. Let's look between the hands and go into a forward bend. So the right foot will step to the back of the right hand, left foot to the back of the left hand, and then return your hands to your blocks. And using the hands pressing down to take some of the pressure out of the hamstrings. Let more weight drop into the front of your feet, feeling your arches rising. The heels are descending, but enough that you can slide again, just a little piece of paper under the heels. That helps to keep us from really pressing down into the heels and keeping the front of the feet awake. Let's breathe. And then inhale, come all the way up into standing. As we reach the chest up to the sky, and then the arms return to the chest. So go to a wall. If you don't have a wall, you can do all of this without the wall, but it's easier with a wall. We're going to extend the left hand out level with the shoulder. Turn to your right hand. So this is Ekabuja 1, like we might do on the floor, for those who are familiar with that. Ekabuja 1 at the wall. Press into your right hand, pulling your chest toward your right hand as you rotate your chest toward the center of the room. So it should give you a nice big opening in the left chest area all the way through the left fingertips. So that whole line of connective tissue from fingers to the center of your sternum. This is a good one to do after you've been gardening or working in your yard. Inhale, release. Do the other side. So we just turn to our left hand, right hand. It's important that your hand is level with your shoulder. So not down here, not up here, but level with shoulder height. You have a right angle between the shoulder and the chest. And then begin to turn the chest toward the left hand. So you're pulling in the direction of your hand and toward the center of the room. To get less intense, step away from the wall. More intense, step to the wall. Remember, keeping a slight bend into the knees, the legs engaged, the glutes engaged, even while we're here. So it's always 100% full body activity. And then release and come back into center just quickly to the other side. So the repeat is always very valuable. Breathe. Release, other side. Feel the spine long up through the crown of the head. And then release. And where you are, walk your hands down the wall and the hips back. And since that's not the best angle for the camera, I'm going to go to this wall. So we're walking the hands down, level with the shoulders, pressing the hips back toward the center of the room. Imagine this, the thighs, both of your thigh bones internally rotating as you isometrically drag the mat apart between your feet. Keep pressing into the wall. This is something you can do at the kitchen counter or at your desk or even at your vehicle if you've been driving, just anywhere that you can find a wall, on a tree, anywhere at all, on the deck, side of your house, wherever. So this is downward facing dog, which doesn't require you to actually get on the floor. And then we'll walk our feet to the hands and then return to the mat. Let's do a standing balance. Roll the shoulders a few times onto the back side. And then we're going to bring the knee in. And working with the leg extension that we did earlier, as the knee comes in, you can stay here, or maybe you find the big toe and then extend the leg out. Notice my knee is bent and my spine is long. If I can maintain my long spine when I straighten my knee, I can do that. But I know that when I do that, my tendency is to disengage my glutes and round my back. So I would rather stay long and engaged with a bent knee. So breathe in. All right, now we're going to turn into a twist here. So we're going to take the right arm, and again, you can do all this with your knee bent. We're going to take the right arm over to the outside of the foot, or even maybe you hold on to the inside of the foot, that's fine, or the inside of the knee. Get longer in your spine, and on your exhale, turn in the direction of your straight leg. Imagine a parallel parking horizontal wheel. So a horizontally turning wheel, turning the ribs toward the knee. Lift up through the crown. Try not to round your spine here. Press your foot out into the hand, hand into the foot. Breathe. And then exhale, release. Bring the knee in. And then the foot slowly comes down. Switch legs. Bring the right knee up. Using the wall is always nice. And then we're going to extend the leg. Pressing the foot and the hand into each other for stability of the leg in the air. The right arm here is acting like a wall. I can imagine that my foot is actually pushing into a wall. So I gain tensegrity for both of my legs. Inhale, get longer, and then on the exhale, foot comes to the hand, left hand comes to the foot, horizontally turning wheel of the ribs as you extend your chest toward the straight leg, or the leg that's in the air, I should say. When your eyes move, your balance moves also, so try to keep your eyes steady. Press your foot and your hand into each other. Breathe. Nice long spine. Keep the shoulders away from your ears. So shoulders can float, but not from over squeezing up the traps. And then let's release. We'll bring the arm in, back to the foot. Knee comes to the chest. And then release. We'll bring the foot down onto the floor. All right, one more thing for our legs. Let's balance in the opposite plane. So we brought the leg forward. Now let's extend our leg back. So we reach our leg back into warrior three pose. We're going to revisit our heel presses. So again, maybe holding onto a wall or a chair. Try to keep the leg at 90 degrees between the base leg and the lifted leg, and then the knee, and then we'll just pulse. I like to create stability by bringing my hands clasped and then onto the base leg. Slight bend into the base leg knee. And then pulsing to the sky. I also like to place one hand on the thigh and push there, the other hand on the glutes. And then press the glutes into the hand. So that helps to stabilize and create a little extra strength in the glutes. Let's do 3 more. 3, 2, Last one. Straighten the leg, warrior 3. Breathe. And then release. We're going to hug the knee in. Again, use the wall or a chair so it can be a little more passive even while we're standing. Release the leg down. Switch legs, warrior 3. So notice I bring my knee in first so that I can move my groin creases back and then extend the leg out. I don't go from a straight leg hinge. So that is not very helpful in engaging your muscles in a balanced way. So hug first and then press into your postures. So I'm stabilizing with the clasp of my hands, pushing the hands into the leg into the hands, leg into the floor, and then I'm going to bend the knee, and then we'll pulse. Out the mouth with the breath. And then maybe one hand to the glutes. So you're just pushing that glute tissue into the hand, or the hand into the glute tissue and the tissue into the hand. That gives it something to push against. It will make you feel more stable here and get you stronger, faster. Remember, don't hyperextend the base knee. Slight bend there. Last 3, 2, and 1. Release, hug the knee in. Maybe use a point of stability for the hand. And then relax the leg down. You're at the top of your mat. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, lift the arms up. Extend through the spine, and then exhale, fold over your legs. So we're stretching the hips, the back body, which we've just activated and strengthened. And then onto the belly. So let's ground the hands, step into our plank. Strong plank. Exhale all the way to the floor. And then let's reach our arms out. Inhale, and then exhale, lift up, Salambhasana. Press the hands, pull the mat back. You can lift your arms up as well. But if the arms lifting makes the shoulders feel tight and the spine tighten, then it's better to have your arms down. So remember what the point of our posture is. And that's for spinal extension and strength. Breathe. And then release. And as we release down, we can just bring our hands and elbows to the floor. Let the legs come down into a sphinx. So again, here we are extending, spinal extension. Breathe. And then if you want to go just a bit higher, you can bring your hands under your shoulders and then press up into full cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Press and pull the mat back toward the hips to traction the spine. And release to your belly, bend the knees, reach back for your ankles. Inhale, and then exhale, we'll press the heels to the sky into downward facing bow. Breathe deep enough here that you rock to the pelvis and then forward onto your front body ribs. Like a balloon, both emptying and filling with air. And then we're going to release just our left leg. Extend. So one leg lifting into bow, or one leg bow pose. And then return and switch sides. Extend through the right. Keep the right side lifted. And then switch. Let's do it one more time. So strong and controlled. So even when we extend the arm and the leg, we want to maintain balance on the backside body. So try not to fling your parts. Stay balanced. Stay equal in your spinal effort. Lift up. And then we'll make a pillow, drop the knees, and windshield wiper the shins from side to side. Smooth out the back. All right, let's come back onto our belly. Come up, hands and knees. Roll back over your sitting bones. Let's come into a boat. And here we'll bring the fingertips so they face the shoulders. Rolling the shoulders back and then lifting the hips up off the floor. And you don't have to go all the way up here to get a whole lot of action in the front of your shoulders. So just barely lifting the hips might be enough. Just sitting here with the fingers facing the hips might be enough. So lift your hips just to the edge, just to your individual edge. You'll know where that is. The shoulders are delicate, so please don't press past your edge. Putting the front of the shoulders. And then release. Come onto the hips to the floor. And then keeping the chest extended, release your hands, bring them forward. And then we're going to hold the hands at the center, like clasp your hands. Imagine that you have an oar. And then we're just going to row right, left, like making figure eights from side to side. Now we're trying to remain equally balanced, equally engaged in the spine, and just let the shoulders kind of roll and rock here. So can you maintain balance and tensegrity even when there's dynamic movement? Let's do 4 more. Last 3, 2, and then 1. Hold, release. Bring the hands back, fingers face the hips. Inhale, exhale, lift your hips up. Now if this bothers your wrists, then try to maybe move the hands back a bit further and place more weight in your fingers, less weight in your palm, like in the base of the palm. Breathe. All right, exhale, release. Now as you bring your hips down, draw your sitting bones back. So we're using that action to extend the spine and then press off with your hands. Switch the grip so you'll know which one it is because it feels awkward. And then let's do our figure eights the other direction. And again, you'll probably know which direction that is because it feels a little bit awkward. And breathing out the mouth and that big whooshing action really helps to unite and draw all the parts together in a way that they're balanced and working evenly together as a team. All right, let's do 4 more. Last 3, 2, and then 1. So when you're doing those, guys, it's really important that you stay on the front of your sit bones. You notice the longer I do it, I kind of drop back onto the back sit bones, and that causes my spine to tuck and round. That's not what you want. You got to adjust and make sure you're on the front of the sit bones so the spine can elongate. That tucking and rounding is not what we want. Let's bring our feet together, get long, and then fold over your front legs. I'm using my elbows here to gently press my shins toward the floor. Some nice deep ujjayi breath to work into the body. Inhale, we'll come up. And then let's hug our knees toward each other. Extend the right leg, lift the chest. Press your arms down into the knee to lift the heart upward toward the sky. Rotate toward the bent knee. I'm pushing my hand and my knee into each other. And then release. We're going to twist away from the knee. And then release and allow the knee to drop to the side. Janu Sirsasana, lift the chest, fold the chest over the front leg. Inhale up, and then exhale. We're going to bring that back, the heel toward the hip. So I'll move so you can see. So that we've got an internally rotating left leg and an externally rotating front leg. And then we're going to twist again on each side. Inhale, lift, exhale, twist toward the right. Inhale, lift, unwind, and then exhale, twist toward the bent knee. Inhale, lift, exhale, twist. Inhale, lift, unwind, exhale, twist. Release, bring both feet flat. We'll do the other side, extending the right leg, left leg long. Arms press down into the knee, lift the chest. Try to get to the front edge of your sitting bones. Maybe you take the hands and pull the flesh back and wide. Exhale, twist toward the knee. Using the back arm to help lift the chest toward the sky. Release, twist away from the knee. Release, open the leg, Janu Sirsasana, head to knee pose. You can adjust so you're on the front of your sitting bones, forward fold. If you're not on the front of your sitting bones, the forward folding will be very uncomfortable. And the extending of the spine while you're forward folding will be next to impossible. So it's important that we get our parts in proper alignment first before we even enter our postures. Inhale, let's come up. And then we'll bring the right leg, internally rotate your thigh. So that's how the knee moves back toward the hip, by internally rotating the thigh. So it's important that this action come from the hip and not from your knee. Lift up, exhale, we'll twist toward the left first. Inhale, center, and then exhale over to the right. So we're going just to the bottom of the breath before we inhale to unwind. Let the breath move us over to the other side. We take one cycle of breath and then unwind back to the opposite leg. And then unwind. And then to release, we'll bring the right leg, undo your left leg. You can kind of draw it over your left leg so then the foot can come flat. Extend the leg. One single forward fold here. Again, front sitting bones so that we can extend our spine. And then we'll come up and all the way to the back. Roll onto your back with bent knees, protecting the spine as we roll. And we can rock from right to left. And let's extend our right leg, left leg on the mat. And then we'll bring our left foot down, reclined pigeon. And then switch. So we'll start with the left leg to the sky. Extend the right leg onto the floor, gently hovered above the mat. And bend the right knee so the foot is flat. Open the left knee, reclined pigeon. And then release. We'll hug both knees in. And let's take an inversion of choice here. So you can flip over into a headstand. Perhaps bring your legs up the wall for legs up the wall pose. Maybe a bridge. Or I'm going to do shoulder stand. So for the shoulder stand, I'll start with my hands under the pelvis. Take a leg at a time. Just gently kick up. And you can do the piked shoulder stand. It's so much easier in the neck and gives you all of the good benefit, where you're letting your hands rest under your hips. So it's not all of the weight of the hips in the hands, but it is, a little easier in the body than with the fully vertical position. I'm still engaged in the core and the legs. If you wanted to take full shoulder stand, you're going to work your legs higher toward the sky, a little extra effort in the core. And come down into plow. So from here, the feet go behind the head, halasana. You can start to sneak your shoulders together, maybe even clasp the hands. This is a very advanced posture. So don't feel that you have to even do this one at all. You can let your feet just kind of hover over your head, or just go ahead and roll out if this feels like it's too much. I don't always have this posture available to me in my body, so I'll enjoy it today while I can. Even at that, my knees are still bent. My hips are still at hips width apart. I'm going to try to press evenly out through the ball of the feet. Using my arms pressing strongly down into the mat to take some of the pressure out of the neck. And when we're ready, we'll go ahead and roll all the way out. And as we come down, we'll take the knees wide into Baddha Konasana, Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined bound angle. And here we don't really have to do much. Just let gravity do its work of drawing the knees toward the floor. When you're ready, we'll take the legs, extend your legs into Shavasana. And before we get too comfortable in Shavasana, let's do a little bit of neck work for that shoulder stand. So we're just going to take the hands and press on each side of the neck and work the neck into the cervical curve. So you don't want to push on your vertebrae, so not on the center, but right there on the tissue, on the muscles on each side of the vertebra. So you're just pressing with the fat part of your fingers, working into that curve. Shoulder stand has a tendency to diminish the cervical curve, and that's not good. So we always need to do a little counter move after we've done the shoulder stand. And then once you're finished there, you'll Let your arms come out, comfortable distance. Relax fully on your mat. Relaxing your whole body. Let your mind travel down into your feet, to your toes. Feel your 10 toes with your mind's eye. Relax them. Feel the arches of the feet. Relax them. The ankles, the knees, and the hips. And all of the spaces in between. Let your mind inhabit these spaces in your body. Observe them and then let them relax. Same with your torso, the arms, and the chest, the neck, the face. And the whole body. So let your mind inhabit your whole body. So in all of your parts, all of your separate parts, but simultaneously. So aware of all of the parts at once. Aware and relax. And you can stay here in this posture as long as you have time to remain. Enjoying the benefit of aware relaxation, fully alive, fully awake, but totally relaxed. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.